everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I just want to say how excited I am to be doing this video. So this is the video of how I passed reg by the grace of God. So first, I just want to put in a few video disclaimers. 1. There is a puppy in the background chewing on her toy. So if you hear like constant gnawing or biting or basically like that, it's the puppy, just as a heads up. Second, there may be a lot of pauses in this video. I'm hoping that there won't be, but there may be, so you might see a lot of chopped up editing and whatnot, all based on whether the puppy wants to start chewing on something that she shouldn't be chewing on. So with those two things said, let's get started on how I passed regulation. So first things first, let's see, I'm going to close you really 1 second. Okay. Do you see my score? It is the same exact score that I got on audit. Let's zoom into that. Woo! Okay, sorry. So I don't know how I literally started crying when I saw my score because I just didn't think it was possible. I thought there was no way that I passed this test. I came out of it knowing that was like, I did not pass. There is not a chance on this like earth that I passed. There's not a chance. So there's a few reasons for that. 1, I was having a lot of problems with the credits, the limitations, just overall not just understanding it, but really this is like a memorization test, I feel like, and so I was having a hard time memorizing. I don't necessarily know why, whether I was burnt out, exhausted, or whatever, but that's why I had a hard problem. Then, at the beginning of my 2-week review, we got a puppy. Very spur of the moment, spontaneous decision. Our older puppy passed away in February right before I took FAR. And while we do have 2 other puppies, she was like our family puppy, so she was adorable. I'll put a picture in the corner if I can of what she looks like, but she's a St. Bernard puppy and she's adorable, and she's also the one chewing in the background. So that took a lot of time out of my day and really kept me distracted from reg for the for the whole thing. For the last 2 weeks reviewing, it was a disaster. During the second week of my review, I ended up going to my county library, which like I've never gone to before, maybe once when I was like 8, and I think I volunteered like once or twice in high school. But that allowed me to focus a little bit more, but even then I still felt so underprepared and just not confident. So I'm just going to take a quick break because my battery is about to die. Be right back. Okay everyone, we're back. So one thing while I remembered while my camera was recharging was the fact that after I finished the first 2 sections of reg, I had surgery. So I had my tonsils out, my adenoids out, and like the stuff worked on my nose because my nose was so inflamed on the inside and I like couldn't breathe through my nose. So that all happened, and I originally thought I was going to need to take a 2-week break from it, but I only ended up taking about a week off from studying to recover. So that was great, but it was also a break in studying, which means you kind of forget the stuff that you went over the first 2 weeks. And like during that, or the first week rather, and during that period, it's not like I was in any condition to review my notes. I was on pain medication, so honestly, most of my days consisted of watching YouTube and sleeping for hours at a time. So that was just also another side note as to why I really just did not think I was going to pass. It was just a whole slew of messed up timings and just breaks in my study period and my normal study flow. So with that being said, let's get into how I passed. So, you know, I'm always one, and my dad did bring this up to me, was I was one to always get 90s to 100s in college, and me thinking that I failed is because I didn't do as well as I always did in school. So I have a really hard time judging, because if I don't know X amount of questions, I think I automatically failed, because usually I'm used to knowing most, if not all. Sorry. Okay. I thought the puppy was doing something. So I started in April. So technically I started this time, which the screen is so, can you see that a little bit better? Let me zoom in for you. Okay, so I actually started studying right after. So I started like the 15th or 16th of May, studied, had my surgery on the 18th, took off until the 24th or 25th, and then I started back up with it. So I still did the 2 sections a week, and I'm trying to think. I did my 2 sections per week. Yeah, I don't know why I think that sounds weird. Okay, I did 2 sections per week, I'm sorry. And there was 8 sections, so I did new material for 4 weeks. And then we go into the review weeks. So another thing that I just remembered is that I had graduation as well. So this is May, so I had graduation on Sunday. So I was back at school from the 23rd to the 27th was actual, no, this is opposite. From the 23rd to the 26th, I was back at school. So, did I study while I was at school? I think I logged 2 hours of studying. She's not that coordinated yet. So, that was graduation. That took a break in my schedule, but I had planned for that. So, that was fine. So, I ended up taking my exam on this day, Tuesday the 4th. So, I had 1, 2, 3 weeks to study as a review. And that was a really long time for review, but in the end, I think I really needed it. Just because of all the breaks that I had, all the puppy drama that went on, and whatnot. I'm also trying to think, what else? I feel like, so then, while I was doing this, during like my last week of new material, they told me, Prometric emailed me and said your appointment has been canceled, the site is closing or whatever. I think they're under renovations or whatnot, but basically I only had the 31st of May or the 4th of June. So luckily the 4th of June was only 1 day before my previously scheduled exam, which was the 5th. So I was like, all right, let's just do that. But I was like terrified because I was like, what if there's no appointments available? In the end, it was fine, but an extra nerve-wracking thing that happened during reg. Okay, so then during these last 3 weeks, I did take the mock exams, and I take all of them. That's kind of what I really practice with and do well with, is taking all those exams because it's multiple choice, simulations. It really gets me focused and aware of my timing for the actual exam. So let's just keep going. How I studied. So I did do the lectures with this big book. Big book. Alright? And I would watch the lectures. So let's go in, do one. I would go in, watch the lecture, do the skills practice. Disclaimer, you probably know this from my other videos. I do not watch the skills video. It's too long and it does, like, no, I can't, I'm sorry. And then I go through and I do the multiple choice. Now you're probably seeing all these check marks and being like, oh my god, how'd she do that on the first try? It was not the first try, it was probably like the 20th try. Because I go through, I get what I get, kind of. And then during my weeks, when I see where my weaknesses are during my progress exams, I go back, read more of the book about the struggle, about the topic that I had struggles with, and then I go and I work on the multiple choice that I got wrong the first time. So that's just my method. And towards the end, I still really did not feel confident, so I tried to go through and do check as many off as I can. But going back to the lectures, after I watched the lectures, I would take notes. And this is a Happy Planner notebook. Let me close the screen for a second. This is a Happy Planner notebook. Ooh, I almost dropped you, sorry guys. And it was nice because you can easily take out the pages, snap them back in. But since there was so much memorization involved, I feel like notes were crucial, but I didn't really go back and look over them. So that's one thing that like I would highly consider, because it is time consuming, and if you're not going to go back and look at them, is it worth it? Oh, there we go. I was zoomed in. Okay. Ooh, you're falling. Guys, I'll get better at this, I promise. Maybe. So yeah, I took notes on each section, and then towards the end, this is all of my sims. I would just go through and try to write down notes about why I got them wrong, what I need to know, really try to work it through on the piece of paper, because sometimes paper just helps. I don't know what her issue is. And now she's crying. Okay, so I have the regulation final review book. I did this. I did the multiple choice on the final review software. And then, since I cannot stress enough how not confident I was for this exam. Then I did flashcards, which these were just summaries. I don't do the normal vocab definition on the back flip. I do little summaries so I know what to do. I probably should have done the flashcards from the beginning instead of the notes, but you live and you learn, so that's alright. So I did these flashcards way at the end of what I was really having trouble memorizing. Then after every mock exam, after every progress test, is my thing falling? So we're back. There is major dysfunction with my camera. After every progress test and after every mock exam, I wrote down the point of the question and then the answer for every one that I got wrong. And I wrote it in this little notebook just so I had it. And this I honestly looked at a lot. I would try to read it every night just to get the ones I got wrong in my head constantly. So that's another method that I did. It's all about repetition for me, getting it sunk into my brain. Now, with that said, I still did not feel confident. And I guess my tip was, so you don't end up like me where I was feeling so unconfident, is do not wait for the sections that you have trouble with. Try to really go back to it and just refresh your mind. It's not just about doing multiple choice, but it is about reading these books and learning from the multiple choice rather than just doing them over and over again, because this isn't far. This is reg, and you need to know the material and the words in the material, because it's one word that can change it. Yeah, so again, my tip is do not wait if you are struggling with a subject. Go back to it and learn it. Next, just my overall reflection. I thought the multiple choice were really hard. I did not think they were that similar to the Becker multiple choice. I don't know why. I don't know if I was just in a funk, but I didn't think they were that similar, and there was a lot of topics that I was not familiar with. And I thought the Sims were better than the multiple choice, but still really hard. And so I think it's just going back to this book and trying to get all the information that you can out of it, but don't exhaust yourself. You need to learn when to take that break, and that's something where I was distracted a lot, but I needed to know when to take my break to relax my mind and really go back to it with a fresh viewpoint and willingness to learn it. So that's what I have. At the end of the day, I did pass, and I am so grateful for that. And I'm hoping some of these tips can help you. And good luck studying, guys. I wish you the very best of luck on your exam. If you passed or if you failed, it's great either way, because every single pass or fail that you have is an opportunity to learn from it. So instead of getting down on yourself, learn from everything. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great day. Bye!